What's going on, Jeromes? So the Minnesota Vikings finally took the interior offensive line seriously. They got rid of Garrett Bradbury, longtime center for the Vikings. They got rid of Ed Ingram, basically traded him for Jordan Mason. Woo! And they brought in Ryan Kelly and the Will Fries. They'll cross your eyes. I just got these burgers, man. All right, so now the question is, who's going to remain at left guard? Like, who's going to start at the left guard position between Darrisaw and Ryan Kelly? Well, Blake Brandel is the incumbent. So Blake Brandel started last year, a former 6th-round pick out of Oregon State from back in the day. Former tackle, kicked inside. Versatility has always been a plus. Coaches love him, and the team signed him to a 3-year, $9.5 million deal, but basically it was a 1-year contract. Right, so the Vikings could move on, no muss, no fuss, but Blake Brandel, he is back, and mixed results. We'll say that. Now, give credit where it's due. Brandel did play well early in the season. Frankly, he was one of the highest rated guards in the National Football League. And then everything, once Darrisaw went out, so his left flank was exposed, just wasn't great. Also, you do have to take into account Bradbury was a center, and all these years, like, hey, let's just get good centers around Bradbury. Get good guards around Bradbury. Good guards around Bradbury. Maybe the guards weren't the problem. Anyways, but even comped against Reisner here. Reisner's probably going to sign with the Bengals. Who knows? But with Brandel, it just wasn't great. So 730 pass blocking reps, 46 pressures, a 6.3% pressure rate, which is not good. 9 sacks, 11 penalties. Yeah, the penalties really racked up and stacked up towards the end, killing drives, killing momentum, and just wasn't good. He wasn't good against the run either, and just wasn't great overall, right? But the Vikings, do have Brandel penciled in at left guard as of right meow. They do have Walter Rouse, a last year 6th-round pick, potentially reducing inside, as well as Michael Juergens, the center guard, specifically called out by name by Kevin O'Connell. So the Vikings in-house do have some competition, as well as in the draft, potentially adding a guy like Ray Zabel at the back end of the first round, top end of the second round, would definitely ease some of the concerns that we have about the offensive line, right? But long story longer, ESPN's Kevin Seifert, who is not Carl Gershman, wrote up a piece talking about Blake Brandel getting some grace, potentially heading into the competition. In the moments after the Vikings' 2024 season ended with a playoff loss to the Los Angeles Rams, O'Connell uncharacteristically blurted out a roster deficiency he wanted to address this offseason, the interior of the offensive line. Also, Cam Robinson was no great shakes in that game either. 12 pressures. Wow. The Vikings signed new starters at center Ryan Kelly, right guard Fries, but spared left guard Blake Brandel, who struggled last season after left tackle Christian Darrisaw was lost for the season due to a knee injury. In the 10 games that followed, played next to newcomer Cam Robinson, Brandel ranked 25th in the NFL among guards in pass block win rate and 52 in run block win rate, which is not good. Why will Brandel get another chance? For one, 2024 was his first season as a full-time NFL starter. There's reason to think he can smooth out his performance over time. Second, he represents cost control without having to count on a completely untested player. His contract signed prior to the 2024 season averages $3.2 million per year. The Vikings' otherwise high-priced offensive line include Darrisaw, O'Neal, Fries, and Kelly, making a lot of cash. O'Connell mentioned the 2024 7th-round pick, Michael Juergens, baby make it smooth like lotion, as possible competition for Brandel, but the Vikings are hoping to see how Brandel performs in what they hope is a less chaotic personnel arrangement. We wanted to make a commitment last year to Blake and see what it looked like over the course of a whole season. O'Connell said, I thought over the first 5-6 games, when he really took a step back at him playing next to Christian Darrisaw, he played at a pretty darn high level. There were some moments in there where I thought that Blake was really taking the next step, and then Cam Robinson comes in. I don't think you can discount the role Blake played in Cam's ability to come in, handle the communication, new offense, everything, but that has to stress Blake enough, and I think you got to give him some grace on some things throughout that time. So, Kevin O'Connell definitely gives a lot of grace. Maybe too much at times, right? And Brandel, like we said, respect. Brandel did look very good early on in the season with Christian Darrisaw on his left. The communication was there, and you do have to give Brandel credit for getting Cam Robinson up to speed as, the communication on the wing, twists, game stunts, all that stuff, like someone that you've never played with before, all of a sudden you're in a game situation. So I think that Brandel, with an upgrade on his right at center with Ryan Kelly, and also Darrisaw back on his left at tackle, I think that Brandel potentially could round things out. Like, I think that we got an incomplete view of his game in 2024. First year as a starter, first year playing a position that he hadn't had snaps at before 2024, and also the myriad of injuries around him, as well as Bradbury at center. right? But a little competition never hurt anyone. So maybe they take Zabel in the first round. Maybe they take Ratledge day 2. Maybe they go down that route. And competition is perfectly fine. And I do believe in Rouse and Jurgens. I think at minimum, both of them will be high-end, valuable backups in the not-so-distant future. But also, I think that they could push for the left guard spot. So we'll see what happens in that regard. But I like that Kevin O'Connell. So Kevin O'Connell, after the loss, obviously he was emotional in his comments about wanting to improve the interior offensive line. He's not wrong, right? But also, taking a step back and looking at things, saying that Brandel deserves some grace. I think that is the mature way to look at it, and I think that it's correct. Even though we've obviously given Brandel a lot of poop throughout the year, it doesn't cost the Vikings anything extra to have him around. Right, and also his contract gets very edible if we get to 90-man roster training camp and he's not up to stuff and he loses the job, and it could be a pay cut or cut situation because he wouldn't mind him at all having him as veteran depth and versatile depth as well. But we'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But it's kind of nice having legitimate competition, right, as opposed to you're starting and you're not coming out. Even if you're terrible, you're not coming out because we never change path here along the Vikings offensive line like the previous regime. Anyways, your thoughts are thoughts. Will Blake Brandel keep his job at left guard? Let us know your thoughts. Our thoughts, comment section. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skol, production value.